Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out that the house you bought in Las Vegas just lost $100,000 overnight, that your neighbor's home has been sitting empty for 6 months with a giant red foreclosure sign out front, and that the once unstoppable Vegas property boom has turned into the fastest crashing real estate market in America right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you hard data that proves Las Vegas is in the middle of a full-blown housing collapse that's about to get dramatically worse. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why prices are already starting to free fall and what's coming next that almost nobody is talking about yet. Let's dive in. Right now, there are more than 14,500 single-family homes and condos just rotting on the market in Clark County. That's a 31% jump in 1 year, and the highest inventory we've seen since the Great Recession. Sales have cratered so hard that transactions are running 42% below the pandemic peak and 23% under the long-term average, meaning the market has completely seized up. Homes that used to fly off the shelf in a weekend are now taking almost 2 months to sell, and desperate sellers are slashing prices left and right. In the last 30 days alone, almost 40% of all active listings took a price cut, some by $50, $70, even $100,000, and they're still not moving. The official median price might still read around $474,000, but that number is a mirage when 4 out of every 10 sellers are screaming for any offer they can get. Condos are getting absolutely obliterated. Many high-rise buildings on and off the Strip are down 10 to 20% from their 2022 highs, and the luxury segment, over $1 million, is basically frozen. Transaction dollar volume in that bracket just dropped nearly 13%, while days on market stretch into the triple digits. The scariest part is the inventory tsunami hasn't stopped. For 12 consecutive months, we've added at least 20% more homes every single month, with roughly 800 to 1,000 net new listings piling up because new listings are outpacing sales by a wide margin. At the current pathetic sales pace, we're already at almost 5 months of supply, which officially flips the market from balanced to a buyer's paradise and a seller's nightmare, and that number is climbing fast. But the real detonator under this whole thing is the complete disappearance of the California cash buyers who fueled the entire boom.
Interstate 15 traffic from Southern California is down over 4%. The remote worker exodus that drove multiple offer madness in 2020 and 2021 has reversed. Population growth has flatlined, and the all-cash deals that used to make up a third of purchases have shrunk to barely 23%. Without that constant flood of West Coast money, there's literally no one left to catch the falling knife. Tourism, the heartbeat of this city, is bleeding out. Visitor volume is down more than 11% year-over-year. That's 1.5 million fewer people walking the Strip in just the first 6 months of 2025. And international spending is actually forecast to decline this year while every other major U.S. destination grows. Conventions still haven't recovered to pre-pandemic levels, midweek hotel occupancy looks anemic, and the Formula One race, for all the hype, is a drop in the bucket compared to the billions being lost. 1 in 4 jobs here is directly tied to visitors spending money, so when they stop showing up, you get layoffs, hour cuts, and paychecks that vanish overnight. Unemployment is already 5.8% and climbing, private sector jobs shrank again last month, and the ripple effect is brutal. Notices of default are up 28%, and Las Vegas now ranks 3rd in the nation for foreclosure activity, with 1 in every 1,900 housing units already in the process. Working-class neighborhoods like North Las Vegas, Sunrise Manor, and Paradise are turning into foreclosure cluster zones because families who stretched with 3% down FHA loans at the absolute peak are now underwater and can't make the payment when groceries and power bills are through the roof. The rental market that was supposed to be the safety net is collapsing too. Vacancy rates are pushing double digits. Landlords are giving away 2 months free plus no security deposit just to put bodies in units, and thousands of out-of-state investors who bought at the top are bleeding $1,000 to $2,000 a month in negative cash flow and simply walking away.
Builders are in full-blown panic. New home sales plunged 37%, permits dropped a third, and you're seeing massive incentives like 4.75% rate buy-downs, $50,000 in closing costs paid, free upgrades, everything short of giving the house away, yet spec inventory is still stacking up because the math no longer works at $550,000 median for a new build. Lake Mead sitting at historic lows, tighter water restrictions, and insurance companies jacking rates for climate risk aren't helping the long-term story either.
Put it all together, and you've got a market where buyer psychology has flipped 180 degrees. 2 years ago, it was fear of missing out. Today, it's fear of catching a falling safe. Everyone knows prices only have one way to go from here, so why buy now when you can wait 3 or 6 months and save another 50 or 100 grand? That waiting game creates a self-reinforcing death spiral that keeps pushing prices lower and lower. Even the pros are sounding the alarm. Analysts who track this for a living are openly comparing today's setup to Florida right before their 2022 crash, and some of the big commercial real estate economists are putting 20 to 30% more downside on the table through 2026 if the national economy tips into recession, which many believe is already baked in. Remember, this city lost 62% peak to trough last time around and took a full decade to claw back. Some of the affordability metrics right now are actually worse than they were in 2008 when you factor in 7% mortgage rates, pushing the payment on a median home close to $4,500 a month before taxes and insurance.
Institutional players and hedge funds that own tens of thousands of doors are already quietly trimming exposure because they can read the tea leaves. And the moment they shift from slow bleed to full exit, that adds another wave of supply that will crush whatever price floor is left. Bottom line, if you own in Vegas and bought any time after 2020, you're likely already down double digits after commissions, and the smart money is getting out now before the real pain hits. This isn't a correction, it isn't cooling, and it sure isn't stabilizing. It's a classic Vegas bust happening in real time. And we haven't even seen the worst of the job losses or the distressed sales yet. So if you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts or questions about Vegas real estate, share this video with anyone you know who owns property there because they need to hear this. And subscribe with notifications on because I'm going to keep tracking this collapse week by week with fresh data so you never get blindsided. Thanks for watching, stay sharp out there, and I'll see you in the next one.